Welcome to the Hell Yeah Happy Hour with Suzanne Evans. Nothing is off limits and nothing is held back, all to help you reach your Hell Yeah life. Thanks for joining us today. So let's crack open a bottle and get ready to drink in the good stuff. And before you leave, please subscribe to our podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hell Yeah Happy Hour. And I'm here with my sidekick. He is not the host of the show. He's not in charge of the show. He is my sidekick, David Vance.
Well, that's been debated by certain people in the past.
Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to be here. And what's ironic about us kind of bellying up to the bar here with my Blue Moon? I don't know. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Harpoon IPA. It supposedly has a hoppy floral crisp to it.
Wow,
I don't know what that means, though.
A hoppy floral crisp. Well, here's the irony about bellying up to the bar. I hate sitting at a bar.
Really?
I hate sitting at a bar. Something about the tall stools and your legs are dangling and you're like Lily Tomlin in a huge chair. And you can't put your feet anywhere, and then you get a cramp in your thigh muscle.
What's your alternative, though?
Oh, just like a good table where you can sit and have a cocktail.
Okay. I mean, I can get behind that, but also I love sitting at a bar.
That makes sense.
Why does that make sense?
Oh, you're just a bar sitter. I can tell that. So here's the deal, everybody. I want to jump in. I'm going to totally run over David and anything that he has to say that's significant because I'm in charge of this show. I'm the host of this show. We've got a little debate going on here, a little push and push. But I do have to tell you something crazy. No pull. I have actually been wanting to get to the podcast, and I've been wanting to talk about something because something was so fucking ridiculous that I read in the paper that I was like, we have got to cover this. We got to jump in immediately and talk about it. So a law student is suing her law school because she didn't become an attorney.
Like immediately?
Well, I don't know about immediately, but here's the deal. I have a degree in musical theater. I have an undergraduate degree in musical theater. I cannot wait to form a class action lawsuit against my alma mater with the thousands of us dreamers and idiots who thought we were going to have a huge career on the Great White Way and never made it. And it's ridiculous. We've gone insane. I read this and I was like, I got to bring it up. I have to get in there. And I immediately have to start drinking. I mean, these are the reasons that middle-aged white women like myself just have drug and alcohol problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember being a liberal arts student in college and just, in junior or senior year, the crushing realization that comes to you that, you're probably not going to be a liberal artist for a living. But now that I know I can sue people, I mean, that's a door that's open.
Listen, this is what it made me think about. It made me think about why we're so messed up as a people, so messed up as a country, so messed up as a human race, because we really believe that everything is supposed to be handed to us. And if we show up, we immediately get whatever we want. We have become an entitled group of people, and it's making me crazy. It's why people aren't willing to work for a living. It's why people believe that, if they do have a job, that it should be easier, that it should be more fun, that I'm in charge of making you happy. People believe that they can do a mediocre job and they should still be rewarded for it. At some point, the only way you're successful and the only way that you're going to be successful is you put on a damn pair of overalls. You do the job every day. You work your ass off. And I don't know, maybe you weren't smart enough to be an attorney. Maybe you don't work hard enough. Maybe you don't know how to do it. Or maybe just nobody likes you. That's not your college or university's fault.
I gotta tell you, something in my lizard brain right now is making me freak out because you're my boss. And it feels a little bit like I'm about to get like that whole speech I know wasn't at me, but that's what it feels like right here in my heart. I'm just sitting here like, oh shit.
Tomorrow I'd like to do a self-evaluation for you. If we could do a performance review, please. Well, actually, all kidding aside, I just found out that you didn't walk for graduation because you had a job interview with us.
Yes, at this very building.
In this very building. And I have to say, we were out to dinner the other night and I discovered this and I was like, oh my God, I feel horrible. Why didn't you walk at your graduation? And you said, because I had an interview. And then I said, well,
that was a really great answer, wasn't it?
It was. And I said, well, why didn't you change the interview? And you said, because I wanted the job. And I actually went home that night after dinner. There were other people with us at dinner, just so everybody knows.
At me and Suzanne's weekly date night dinner that we have and have not told anybody about until this very moment.
But I was going home that night and I thought, this is why he's such a great employee, is that he was like, I want the job. You do whatever it takes. I'm not going to sue Suzanne because I missed graduate. You're not, I hope not.
Well, I mean, now that I know I can. What I didn't tell you also, or maybe I didn't bring up, is that there were other reasons that I didn't walk. Or
Okay.
It feels like really the job interview was just maybe not an excuse. It was the main reason. But also, I mean, your parents are still together, right?
As of this morning, yeah.
Well, I mean, my parents are not, and neither are my dad and my stepmom. So when you multiply a divorced family times a divorced family, you really don't want all of those people in the same coliseum together. It's just like you're inviting disaster.
All right, so at least I feel a little better, but it still makes you a great employee. It makes you not entitled. And what I'm saying is that how can you possibly be successful? How can you possibly be financially free? How can you possibly be independent? How can you possibly start a business or get anything you really want out of life if you're walking through your life looking at everybody else to make you successful?
I agree. Do you think that a college does, though, owe at least some form of job placement to the people applying or the people with degrees?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I watch a lot of The Good Wife, and there was a
That
great,
is interesting.
There's a great episode about somebody suing their college, kind of like for that same thing, and I feel completely equipped to cross-examine people and represent myself in court because of The Good Wife and other legal shows on TV. But do you have an obligation to place people? I don't think you're guaranteed anything. I mean, we obviously coach business owners, and they sign a disclaimer that says we can't promise you that you're going to go off and make millions because I can't promise if you're going to do the work. I don't know how you're going to do the work. There's a lot of hardworking people who really try, but are just not likable. I don't think a college can make you likable. I don't think a business program can make you likable. I don't think, anything. I don't think big boobs can make you likable. Well, all right, I take that one back. But I just don't think there's anything or class or course or something that can make you be exactly what it is you think that you're going to do. I think that comes as a combination of hard work and personality and perseverance and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. And something about suing the college. I just wonder what lawyer takes that case.
Yeah, I don't know what a jerk. I mean, seriously,
just the worst.
Just the worst attorney, because I think it's ridiculous, and I think that, yeah. I mean, listen, I was the minute I saw it, I was like, I have to rant on this because it's completely ridiculous. It's the kind of thing that makes me want to drink till I black out. Right? I mean, totally, because you're like, I don't know what's wrong with the world. I don't know how people aren't more successful. And, we were actually, this week running our 10K club, and it's the same thing with our clients. I mean, I love our clients, but the truth of the matter is it's that the successful clients are the ones that aren't depending actually on the 10K club program or any program for their success. They're just using it as a tool. I think college is a tool, and I think it's a useful tool for some people and not for others. I think business coaching or online courses are a useful tool for some people, but everybody's looking for the magic money unicorn.
Yeah, what would you say is the root of that that mentality? Do you think that's something new, or do you think that that's something that's always been around? Is that my generation's fault, or is that just something that's always been in everybody? It's just all of a sudden now we don't have to farm for our food.
It's totally your generation's fault.
I'll buy it.
Well, I don't think it's that. Listen, there's let me put it this way. There's young lazy people and there's old lazy people, right? I think it's a couple of things. I think it's entitlement. And I think entitlement is the number one thing that just, it doesn't make me want to drink till I black out. It makes me just want to go use the beer bottle to knock myself unconscious so it's faster. Because, everything, my good friend Larry Winget wrote a book called Work for a Reason. Mm-hmm. And maybe it has something to do with, I'm a 7th generation farm family. So we're used to, plowing the fields, but everything in life would get better if you would just work a little harder. And I see all these Facebook sunshine fairies shooting out of your ass posts, and it's like, you need to create a lifestyle business, and you need to work less, and you don't have to be owned by the man. And it's like, okay, fair enough. I do think you can design your life, but I think that the people who are writing those posts worked their ass off so that they could have that life. And so, I don't know, it just set me off when I read that this week. I was like, great, another New York Times article on some jackass who feels entitled and thinks that because they didn't get what they wanted in life. It goes back to kids getting participation trophies. I'd like to take a bunch of participation trophies and ram them up parents' ass. The bottom line is that you don't get a trophy for participation. You get a trophy for winning. And you're not going to win every time. You might get a high five for showing up to practice every time. But, they do something called the Olympics, and they don't wander around and go, we're not going to give out awards this year. We're just so glad you all spent millions of dollars and gave up 17 years of your life swimming. Right? No, the winners get medals, and everybody else can go back to the Olympic dorm rooms, have a beer, and be thrilled they got a free trip to Sweden or wherever they were.
Shit, that does sound pretty nice, though. I gotta say, something you said earlier, it really hit me about, Facebook posts about dreams.
Yeah.
Because it seems like every day I go on my Facebook wall and there's a picture of a fox or something that seems unrelated to business or anything in life, but just something about dream big and you'll get it. And the fox just sort of looks out all transcendentally, like he understands you.
Yeah.
But the people who are doing that, you never see Bill Gates posting fox success pictures. It's always the dude I went to high school with who always had the sketchiest mustache.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, you're not like, my role model is Richard Branson, my role model is Bill Gates, my role model was Steve Jobs, and they're like, oh, where do they find the time in the morning to make the little memes that have the rainbows and flowers on them and telling me to dream big today? Mm-hmm. And that's a big part of the business owner's problem too, is that, the successful people, you barely notice them. You know why, David?
Why?
They're busy working. They're working. The non-successful business owners, I guess, have time for Facebooks and flowers and personal development workshops and meditating all day long. And it's nothing wrong with meditation or flowers, but it's just, again, it goes back to that doing all the wrong things at the wrong time for the wrong length of time. Yeah. And that's what I'm annoyed about.
You seem extremely annoyed by it.
I'm telling you, I watched that thing and I was like, there has got to be a better way for the world to exist. And seriously, it of course it just related so much to what I do for a living and business coaching and people who don't understand why they didn't get a result. And, one of the things that we say behind the scenes, but I guess now we're saying it on a podcast, is there's no refunds for being stupid or lazy. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like, I can't help, people will write in and they'll say, I'm so busy that I can't do this program. Can I get a refund? No, asshole, you can't get a refund because your problem is you're pretending to be so busy that you don't do anything. It's not my problem that you can't prioritize. The program would help you prioritize if you would take it. It's entitlement. It's believing that there's a magic bullet for everything. It is the problem with society in general, is we have a lack of success because we have a lack of reality-based strategies that are all based in working, doing the job.
So you're saying basically your thesis is we should do less suing of colleges or less of asking people to give us things and more of just maybe it's our own fault.
Listen, I think if I have to come up with a thesis, yes, it's less of everybody else's fault, right? Because the bottom line is that every damn thing is our responsibility. I mean, people say that, but no one really believes it. Right? Nobody does. I mean, one of the things that I think that the world could use is a little unwooing of the world, right? A little less like you can have anything you want. You can dream big. You'll be anything you want. It's just not fair to tell certain kids or adults you can be anything you want, because there are certainly things, David, you can't be.
Yeah, I remember the heartbreaking moment when I realized that as a kid, that just it coincided with the first time I ever thought, you know what, fuck basketball, because that's just not me. And yeah, you're right. People did grow up saying, well, I grew up hearing people say you can be whatever you want to be, but I would argue there are more things I can't be than things I can be.
Yeah, I had a professor in college, and she said, I knew that the world was different, and I knew that the world was a place where some people could be some things and some people couldn't. When I had two sons that were like a year and a half in age, and they were on the same softball team, like little league team. And she said one of my sons was like the star of the team, and he would hit a home run every time he came up to bat. She goes, and my other son kept getting caught in the outfield making daisy chain bracelets and sitting cross-legged. She was like, it was just so clear to me that like we're not all destined to be anything that we want to be. I don't know. For me, it's like,
I don't know. That seems like a shitty softball coach. He'd be running laps on my team.
I hear you. But the gist of it is that I think we should work more and expect less. That's my motto for this year. Work more and expect less.
That's the t-shirt for this episode.
Exactly. Work more and expect less. And I'm blacking out. I'm drinking till I black out people who are entitled and lazy, and I am toasting all the people who go, I get it. We wake up every day, work your ass off. You could possibly get a result, but really you're going to need to the next day just work harder. Sorry to interrupt your drinking, David.
Yeah, I think you stopped there on purpose as I was enjoying my hoppy floral crisp IPA beer, which, by the way, they fucking nailed it with the description.
So I'm having a Blue Moon. I have absolutely no nice description except a Belgian-style wheat ale. But I will tell you, I do love Blue Moon. I think I've covered this before, but I like an orange in my Blue Moon because it adds a sweetness. But I'll be honest, in general, I struggle with drinking.
Just as a concept?
No.
You physically struggle with it?
No, I like very specific drinks. Like the only beer I really drink is a Blue Moon. I like a Blue Moon.
Would you describe it as crisp? It seems like you can describe any beer as crisp.
No, mine's not crisp. Mine's a Belgian style.
Except for that one.
Now you're projecting your crisp on my wheat. No, that's not what's going on. But I struggle with drinking in general because I really like very girly, foofy cocktails that are extraordinarily sweet and make you feel like wherever you are, you're lying on a beach.
See, I prefer things that are...
Pause. You prefer all cocktails from the 1980s. I've been to a bar with you, David.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but I think I just prefer good ones.
No, Long Island iced tea was done in 89.
Long Island iced tea was the greatest invention of the 80s, and that's why it continues to be hip today.
I'm telling you, that is a whole generation of entitled bitches, people drinking Long Island iced teas.
No further comment on the Long Island iced tea.
Awesome. All right, here's the deal for today. The deal for today is work harder and expect less.
Love it.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been Hell Yeah Happy Hour. It's Suzanne Evans here with David Vance, and you don't want to miss our next episode where we will destroy another generation. Join us back here for tips on success, life, business, money, and apparently beer.
Thank you for listening to the Hell Yeah Happy Hour. Before you leave, please subscribe to our podcast and share it with your friends. Suzanne Evans is the founder of Suzanne Evans Coaching, an Inc. 500 5,000 listed company for the past 3 years and counting. Suzanne Evans went from 6 figures in debt as a secretary on Broadway to the head of her own $7 million company. She delivers her transformative business building message in public speaking engagements across the country. Want to hear more? Visit SuzanneEvans.org and get on our list to learn about our exclusive programs and support for entrepreneurs. And don't forget to subscribe and share.